In terms of holidays, what do you guys think we could see? Do
Nothing.
you think multiple?
I'm just wishing it into existence.
Do you think
Nothing.
I mean, I think it could
For
be
the
a
sake of
possible.
my family. Nothing.
We're holding on by a thread.
Nothing.
Okay. All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel, presented by Connors and Ferris, Mike Catalana, Dan Fates. I am Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We always appreciate it. Also, a reminder, you can listen to our audio-only version of the podcast, available wherever you find your podcasts, creatively named Buffalo Plus.
My buddy Dave gives me a hard time all the time. He goes, I'm an audio guy. I need all of your stuff on audio. So we'll put this up for Dave.
Just for you, Dave.
How did I do hosting?
You did a great job till the end.
Till the end.
You're just hanging on. We've all been
It's
there.
a bad thing to say land a plane these days with what's going on, but Dan was at Newark.
Yeah. It was shaky. I will say Mike gave me a little bit of crap in the beginning, but I think telling people you can pause the video right now and subscribe.
Yes. I like that. You can also
Appreciate
just
it.
subscribe while you're watching.
Yeah, it's just
But yeah, you can pause
call
as well.
to action.
Okay,
Yeah.
we like that. Yes. All right. So we're going to talk a little bit today about the schedule. So on Monday, we're recording this on Monday. We thought there would be a couple more announcements coming out about what the Bills schedule looked like. But either way, we're going to talk about our predictions, what we expect. And obviously, Mike, there's a ton of opportunity in terms of this team, how good they are, and what that means for the spotlight in general on this group this season.
Especially with the home schedule this year is
Yeah.
absurd.
It's a bear.
Yeah, it is.
And the games are, we were joking saying the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are a good team with Baker and Mike Evans, I mean, they can score. They're probably going to be a division winner, playoff team. That's like the fifth best game if you don't count any of the division games in what they have just at home this year.
And I saw Fox just put out again their strength of schedule stuff, and they said the Bills had the fifth easiest strength of schedule, which I was very confused by, looking at their home schedule, going outside of their division, the Bucks are the second worst team they face, and then the Saints.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you have
outside of their division.
Right. I mean, you have the
the
powerhouses. It's not just better. I mean, it is. I mean, Eagles, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, thankfully for the Bills, those are home games because, I mean, obviously those are, tight games no matter what. But yes, and you could label any one of those as a primetime game. All of them as a primetime game.
Well, that was the one thing I wanted to say is, are any of those games a 1 o'clock kickoff in your guys' opinion? Could any of those
games against, or any of the home games?
Those 4 home games. Ravens, Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles.
No way.
Okay.
No,
we're all on the same page. At least we can start there.
How many 1 p.m. kickoffs at home do you think they have this year? Probably the Saints game.
I'd say 2.
I'll say 3.
I think it's going to be, I don't know how the league looks at the Patriots. They're an interesting team this year. The Jets are New York. The thing about the Jets is they try to not schedule them when the Giants are playing, if you notice. So that's why sometimes you get a Jets 4:25 game.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
On the given week.
For a second, I was like, well, they can't play at the same place, Mike. But I get what you're saying because you don't want
just,
they offset
me.
Yeah,
yes.
I get what you're saying. It's the fact of
TV-wise,
they don't want them in the same time slot.
So, but I mean, those other teams, the prime game for the network really is the 4:25 game.
Right.
It gets better numbers than the night games.
Do you think it does better than Sunday night?
Yes. 4:25 is the number 1 time slot for games.
I mean, I would agree with that. Just
4:25. I mean, we all know there's 4:05 games. Sometimes that means it's not the league-wide game that is probably seen by 85% of the country.
Yeah.
Especially late in the year when it's dark already at like 4:30.
The best.
Yeah. So it's night games.
2:15. It's dark out.
So we were thinking, the story was that NBC had said, oh, Josh is going to be on the Today Show. So I'm watching the Today Show. I see Mike Tirico on there. I'm waiting for him to say, hey, here's the opening game. And then here's Josh Allen to tell us about Sunday night. No Josh Allen.
No Josh Allen. Josh Allen's supposed to be later in the week.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my thought, and it's what we talked about as we wrapped up rookie minicamp. From what we're hearing is that it is Bills hosting the Bengals week 1 Sunday night.
Love that opening game.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, there's storylines galore. And I've always thought of like Sunday night as the biggest. I understand what you're saying, like the prime time slot. I just think of Sunday night as.
I think they bill it as that, obviously, but.
I think early in the year, better chance to get the bigger audience late because it's September around the country.
Yeah.
You know, a little harder to get people in front of the TV at 4 in the afternoon. I mean, there's so much people are doing.
Yeah.
Which is why they avoid Labor Day.
Yeah.
They used to play games on Labor Day weekend, and then like there's way too much going on. So I'm with you on that. I think the night game, when people have settled in after a weekend anywhere, that's going to be a big game.
Well, and I want the audience to comment in. What do you like? I'm not talking about what you think will happen, but we've always kind of had this joke because when we started covering the Bills 10 years ago, it was every game. What did I say?
No, you're right.
No,
10 years.
10 years is like
10 years.
10 years.
Gosh, I had already been covering the team for 27 years.
I was 14 when I started covering the Bills. That was wild.
Yeah, how about that? But I think about it like we were there, like the Rex Ryan and Geno Smith. No, it was the guy that punched Geno Smith.
Oh, IK and Pauly.
Yes, when he was signed.
So
good
random.
pull.
Yeah.
And Rex was eating dog biscuits. Like that's when every game was at 1:00. And so for you, the people that have liked, commented, and subscribed, comment in like what you prefer, not what you think is going to happen, but for your life, your work schedule, your family routine. Like, do you like the 1:00 games? Do you prefer the night games after the kids have gone to bed? Do you prefer Monday night? Like, what do you like most? I think would be interesting to see the perspective of the audience of not what you think, what you prefer, because there are some people that are like, oh, they need to get more primetime games. There's only so many you can be scheduled for. But then some people are like, I don't want to be up until 11:30 at night and then having to go into work. So
that's me.
I mean, it's been a different change in our jobs, in our aspect of covering the team, of being like, hey, we're up till. I mean, I always think back to when people talk about like, oh, it's early flight or a long day for you. It's like that week 18 game in Miami, we didn't sleep.
Yeah.
We edited, packed our luggage, and then got back on an airplane and came home.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun though.
That's not complaining. We cover an NFL team. It's pretty freaking sweet.
I would say I love 1 p.m. kickoffs just because I love like it's daytime. You see everyone for the tailgates. It's like they started out with the breakfast food, then went to lunch. Like I love the buzz and Wegmans. I know
you
it's so
would
silly.
tie it into food.
Yes.
Naturally.
And there's the open.
I am who I am. But that being said, like I think the 1:00, and that way when you're done with the game, it's still early on that people can do other stuff, go to bed at a reasonable time. I think the 1 p.m. and that's especially something that when we first started covering the team, you kind of like anyone else, it's a routine that you get into, and the 1 p.m. was kind of like that perfect sweet spot. So that's my favorite, but also there's no denying that primetime games, just the stage and what it means for the team and just the excitement that goes into it, it is a different level.
I'll go right in the middle. I love the 4:25 when you're a team like the Bills.
Yeah.
Where you know it's against a really good team. You know everybody is watching. They've had so many. I mean, the Josh game against the Chiefs at 4:25, the game they lost to the Eagles in overtime, which is a crazy game, 4:25. I think that is their absolute sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they get huge numbers and, it's different. It does make your day a little different. But I just think they fit there and the networks love them in that spot. But all the networks, obviously all. It's Fox and CBS, but that's the thing, I guess. Well, we'll have to look at it because they have started to change that a little bit. It used to be if you're an AFC team on the road, it's CBS.
Correct.
And now, because there's so many partners they have with Amazon and Netflix and every other thing, they've changed it a little, but that's still the main way they do it.
And I think, too, the other thing I always am interested in is the fact that, like, last year it was Monday night Bills hosted the Jags. Like, that was like the Jags on, like, we think of like those key games. So you think of Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, and then all of a sudden you'll get a primetime game where it'll be maybe against the Patriots, and you'll go, huh?
Yeah,
the Patriots, huh?
Last year they had it. Now it was against the Dolphins, but they had the quick turnaround right away.
Yep.
I mean, they opened with Cardinals.
Yep.
And then right down to Miami.
Yeah.
Dismiss the Dolphins like they do, and then they went on from there. They want to get these other teams on primetime games. Sometimes getting them in a game they know there's going to be an audience because it's a good team.
Yep.
And
and early in the year before
they know
their wheels have completely fallen off.
Yeah.
What is the first thing you look at when the schedule comes out?
I look at 3 things. I actually wrote down notes. The 3 things. Notes.
Highest ceiling. Sorry.
I write down Deion Walker, so I make sure I note of that first. 3 straight road games. That's a bear. If you ever have to play a team that is, especially gambling purposes, a team that is playing their 3rd straight road game, I like to fade those teams. That's a brutal part. Trying to find, especially in the Bills case, we talked about it last year, and we will bring up clips from last year because there is some deja vu aspects of this point last year and where we are right now. Easy early schedule. Again, as they're talking about revamping this defense, it's going to take some time to gel. I think you'd like to have an earlier slate rather than a harder slate to start. Trying to get that bye in the middle of the year as close as you can. And then especially for Buffalo, because of the home field advantage, which it is throughout the entire season, the weather, the Bills play well in it. We've talked about that before. When you get the Niners coming to Orchard Park around November, in those West Coast teams, it's an advantage. So when you have outdoor teams or West Coast teams coming, I like the Bills to have home games later in the year.
My thing I look at is just like how much rest, like short weeks, where do those fall? Where does the bye back up? And then just, what does it look like early? What does it look? Is it a gauntlet late? How does that all play out? And then also, Mike, how many primetime games?
I look now with the Bills and the way the league is, I look at the holidays right away. Because it's going to, especially last year, I remember thinking like beforehand, I was like, back at the end of the season, I'm like, well, Christmas is a Wednesday. They can't play NFL games on Wednesday. And the league's like, oh, yeah.
Not so fast.
Yeah. And so it's, Christmas. And because Thanksgiving became a thing for the Bills, when it's still possible for this year. And now you've got the other days. I honestly look at it. Yes, it is about prime time. It used to be that mark of, wow, the Bills are showing something because they're putting them more in prime time. They're going to get the max prime time games. They'll get flexed into some, like they are money in those games. To me, it's more anything non-Sunday.
Yeah,
is the way I look at it. Anything non-Sunday I want to see. And then to your point, how does this impact the team going from a Sunday to a Thursday? And what the case is for, rest. Who they played, coming
Travel.
off that game. Like last year, they gave them 1:00 Sunday, travel for a Thursday.
Yeah.
And they blew out the Dolphins. So, we'll see what happens this year.
In terms of holidays, what do you guys think we could see? Do you think multiple?
I'm just wishing it into existence.
Do you think multiple? I mean, I think it could
for
be
the
a
sake of
possible.
my family. Nothing.
We're holding on by a thread.
Nothing.
Okay, if you had to pick a holiday, they
Nothing.
do play.
There's the open.
What about Black Friday?
Sure.
I feel like that I would be fine.
That's not really a holiday. It's
Whoa.
over a holiday.
Whoa.
No, I'm saying is like, listen, we've had
as a shopper, yes,
we've
is.
had every level of travel Thanksgiving games.
Mhm.
We've had the early, right? In Detroit. We had the 4:25 in Dallas. We had the night game in New Orleans.
Yeah.
They won them all.
Great food in New Orleans.
Bad injuries in 2 of them.
Yeah.
Not great for Thanksgiving. Christmas is it's just different. And it's a Thursday. So it makes it more of a normal interruption in the schedule in terms of the day of the week. That Wednesday one was weird because they had to play Saturday the week before. I think they are very much alive to play on Christmas.
I think they play the Patriots on Christmas.
That could be.
They usually play the Patriots around then, anyways.
Yeah. And
Please,
for you
God,
guys, if you're going to the
I
games,
would go. You would stay.
if you are going,
We still got to work.
if you are
It's so different.
going to the games, a road game is 3 hours of your Christmas. If you go to the games, a home game is a day. It just is. Well, if you go,
you're talking about for our job.
Nope, I'm talking about for
Oh.
fans who go to the games. If you're a Bills fan, if it's a home game and you go to the games, it is 4 hours before you're leaving and 2 hours after the game before you get home. Meaning if it's a Christmas Day game and that game starts at 4:00, you don't just turn the TV on at 4:00. I mean, you could skip the game. I'm saying is if you normally go and you go and use a ticket and go to the game, you're looking at me like this doesn't exist.
I
If it's
feel
a
like when
road
you're
game,
on the
it's
road-
travel.
Well,
I'm saying is that's the difference. If it's a home game on a holiday, you map out 3 hours of the day for the whole family to watch the game. If you plan on going to the game
I see what
and
you're
it's
saying.
a home game,
Mhm.
it is taking up your
It's the
whole
whole
day.
day, yeah.
So to me, that would be the difference between like a
Ah,
Christmas night game.
I thought he meant going to the road game.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
I
I'm
did-
saying
I
is,
did
oh,
think of
sure,
that as well.
fans could always go to a road game. I don't know if purposely
They're allowed
many
to.
people would say, I'm going to go to a Christmas game, unless, you had family in New England and you said, we're going to
Sure.
go to the game Sunday night or Thursday night, whatever it is. I'm saying is just like on Thanksgiving, like if it's a road game, like it's been, you just mapped out that day and you had the game.
Yeah.
And then, the rest of your day is impacted.
I see what you're saying.
Christmas at a home game is pretty impactful for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's interesting, you talked about the travel, guys. Where is the farthest west the Bills travel this year? Is fascinating to me.
Farthest
Not
west.
really that far. Wait, I'm trying to think.
Wait a minute. I think I know this. It is it like, I'm not, wait a minute. I got to think. Is it
Sure.
Pittsburgh?
No.
I don't. Okay. I'm not good with geography. I don't think it's Pittsburgh.
Well, wait a minute. Because I know, wait a minute, but they play in Atlanta. They play
That
in
is correct.
Charlotte.
That is correct.
And then they play the Jets and
the
those
Browns?
teams.
Browns are.
No, it's
not
at the Browns.
It's not the Browns.
Well, there's
It's not
only
the
one other.
Browns?
And what's the other game? Oh, wait a minute. It is
Point. Okay, wait. Let me.
Like
look.
we've been there before.
Indy.
Nope.
Where is it?
Houston, I think, would be the
Houston.
farthest west
Oh,
they go.
no question, it is. But beyond
Huh.
Houston,
That's it.
it is
East.
yes.
Yeah, the travel schedule this
You're
year.
traveling
is
the
weird.
farthest. That is Boston. It's Foxborough.
Well,
For East?
That's east.
Right. Well, I'm talking about.
Oh, distance wise.
Yes.
Yeah, distance wise.
But what
it is.
about-
we're Atlanta's farther.
Well, Miami. I'm talking about like when you're.
East Coast.
Oh, which
Eastern
way, east or
seaboard,
west? Yeah. And west would be Cleveland, right?
Houston.
Houston.
We
No,
just,
besides Houston.
Oh,
I
yeah.
said
Oh,
besides
yes.
Houston.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, but they could go further east.
I don't think the rumor we're hearing now, right, is the Ireland game is Pittsburgh and the Vikings.
Yeah.
Is what the rumor is now.
So
Okay,
we have
here.
no, it's
You
your
made the notes.
Well, I guess I was saying is look at the possible games. So there are games outside the United States. In Brazil, it's the Chargers. The Bills don't play the Chargers. It's the Colts in Berlin. The Bills don't play the Colts. So you have the Dolphins in Spain, which I guess is a possibility, right? Because obviously they play the Dolphins.
I think that would be cool.
Steelers in Dublin. London with the Jags, they just played there. I don't think they would repeat and send the Bills back to play the same teams. There's two other London games.
The Bills don't play the Jags.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. That's why I didn't have that one. Yes, but they do have two other London games, Browns and Jets, who the Bills both play both as the road teams.
Yep.
But the Bills were just in London. I don't know if they would send them back. And those are the international games. And like I said, 3 Christmas games, which are all up. Only the Thanksgiving night game because they don't play at the Lions or at the Cowboys, and then Black Friday. So of those games, it's Spain with Dolphins, Dublin, Steelers, London with the Browns or the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
out
no.
on London.
I'm going to say no European game this
I
year.
could see it being the Dolphins.
Sure.
Do you think, and have they, and I don't know off the top of my head, excuse me, that they'll make a division game, an international game?
There
They-
has been, right?
Yeah, there has been in the past.
Was it the Dolphins and the Jets? I should know this.
I don't know. I just remember that was a question.
That just seems kind of rare. Like they're very protective of the divisional games.
They are.
And because they also try and lump them together in certain
But they
times.
have done it before.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it was Dolphins. I think it's Dolphins and Jets played over there.
And it's funny because they never seem to have the best matchup be an international game. It's like they don't want to waste a great game because it is kind of a circus to begin with that you're building it around. So it's just interesting.
Was that Chiefs Steelers? Was it Steelers and Chiefs
Dolphins.
That ended up being it was pretty a great game. Back and forth game.
Yeah, we were
two prominent teams. Yeah, in that case. But you're right. It hasn't been big names. Like I think they had Packers Giants together. Was it Packers? Yeah, Packers Giants. I think
like it's always kind of been like a team and then like the other guy.
Yeah,
like it's got that's. And again, I haven't studied the international, history of these games, but it just seems like they're always kind of like, hey, I can take it or leave it on this game of waking up at 9 a.m.
Different kind of game because it was a night game. But last year they started in Brazil. It was Eagles Packers.
Yeah,
correct.
But that game, based on the way they have to schedule it, that's the thing about those European games. Really, in that part, the only way that game works is it has to be in the morning here.
Yep.
It would be tough to do any other time. I think the next year they go to Australia.
Yeah, I believe it's Well, I think it would be cool to go to Spain. It would be cool to go to Dublin.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Do you think the Bills would handle it differently travel-wise?
I think they almost have to.
I have to.
I completely agree. I think how the debacle that was in London against the Jags was.
Yeah.
I just think the team was not prepared.
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like you have to do the opposite of what you did because based on the results.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever they were trying to do,
they were trying to like thread the needle.
Yes.
And the needle.
And it was like, this is what we're doing and we're all in on it.
And that's another thing that we're hoping to have a Bills player come on the podcast at some point this summer to talk to them about how that travel works. Like, again, I've always joked around that like a lot of times we think football players are like robots, like nothing affects them and things like that. It's like, well, some people, I'm sure there are some players that don't like sleeping on planes. I'm sure there are players that don't travel well. Like that's part of it. And to throw a massive wrench in your routine, because if anything we know, professional athletes are routine oriented people, and that kind of throws things off kilter.
That's a good point. The other one is now Mike North was on with our friends in It's Always Game Day in Buffalo. He was talking about the schedule and he said it is not a league rule that says they get the bye if they want it. He said that's pretty much, they can work that out with the team. I think part of that would be the negotiating of we want you to go there. But if you remember, they played the Giants after they got back from London, and they were horrendous in that game.
Yeah,
should have lost.
Yeah,
so
had to survive a fourth down, goal line stop.
Tyrod made a mistake, and
they ran the ball.
In that game, and Bill stopped them. But no part of that 9 days was good for the Bills.
No.
They were 1-1, lucky to be that, had a bunch of injuries. Yeah, that was a bad stretch.
That was. I just remember how exhausted we were, and we had gotten there so much earlier to London, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys just got here.
Yeah.
And they're trying to play at 9:30 in the morning, like home time. Yeah. All right.
Anything else?
Well, we were going to say about the home games. So in terms of how many primetime games, so whether it's 5 or 6, I should know this. I think they can schedule 6 now out of the 17 as primetime games.
I think 5.
I
think 5 games are I think 5 home games are non 1 o'clock games. That's how I will phrase it. I think the home games at 1 o'clock are the Jets and the Saints. And then either or the Dolphins or Patriots. I think one of those will be a 1 o'clock. One of those will be a
And
again, when we say prime time, it makes you think sometimes like it's got to be Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, and it's like they could be a 4. It could be a 4:25. It could be a 4.
Well, I don't see the Bills having home 4:00 games. When they're making them non-1:00 games, it's 4:25.
Right.
I think that's where they are in this. I think the Eagles-Bills game just sets up for Fox at 4:25.
Yep.
It's a great window
totally
for them.
fair.
And that's the big game for Fox.
Yep.
They don't have the night game. So that's a big game for them. I think primetime. I think Chiefs is a 4:25 game. That has worked for the league.
Yep.
I could see Baltimore being a night game and Cincinnati being a night game. And I don't know if they do 3 home night games for the Bills.
It's a lot.
I'd say definitely those 2. I'd say that's my opinion. Baltimore, Cincinnati, night games at home, 4:25 against Kansas City and Philly. And then maybe another one.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what they think in terms of the division. I could see them a road night game in the division.
Yeah.
Yeah. New England.
I could see that.
I think there's buzz with May and some of the new pieces and Vrabel. I think it's tough to kind of make the claim that like a coach is a buzz and kind of a draw, but I think Vrabel is to some extent.
Yeah. Well, I think you see some talent from May. You see the pieces they're putting around it, and you see a guy like Vrabel where people believe in him. So it makes sense.
I was looking at it. I don't think like Atlanta, but again, we didn't think Jacksonville coming in. First of all, the Bills bring the buzz to the games because of Allen, but I could see, it's funny. Wouldn't it be funny if it was Houston as a night game this year?
Yes.
Because everybody made the point
oh my gosh,
about the 1:00 game. And I could honestly, I could see him at Pittsburgh on a night game.
I could definitely see that. I've never been to Pittsburgh. I would like to go. We have to do our travel draft too.
The travel draft is coming up.
The travel draft is coming up. The Pilates
video
is
booked.
I was going to say it's booked. It's on the schedule.
The Barry, it's going to be great. The Barry class.
The bar class. I can't believe you thought that was Barry.
Pilates.
The Barry class.
I will say I would like the Falcons game to be early in the season, not to be tipping my hand when I'm trusting my board. I've also got to consult the wife, make sure we don't have dates that line up. The one time I know I booked a game. I took a game like second pick, and it was like her birthday. I was like, that's on me.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Ask me.
October in Atlanta.
I'm going in a heartbeat.
No, but I mean, how confident are you?
Oh, not confident at all.
Okay.
But I'll take my chance.
September, you're good.
Yeah.
September, you know they're playing.
But it's threading the needle because they need to be home.
Dan's a huge Braves fan, so.
But also, we talked about it. Great travel for us.
Yeah.
Outside, if they play an international game, great travel. A lot of driving games, and then Atlanta's a clear hub, like to fly into there. Charlotte. I love Pittsburgh. We've done Pittsburgh a bunch.
Pittsburgh's fun.
Would you go international?
Yeah, I got dibs on international. Already ran it by the wife.
Oh, okay. All right.
We've already. That was one of the conversations we got like done with dinner.
What if it's your birthday weekend?
What if there's another baby coming?
Wait, we don't know. I'm kidding. That seems like a good place to end it.
Oh, one other thing. This isn't our credit to me. I did just want to give a shout out. Ian Gallagher, friend of the channel, friend of the pod, all of those things. I am his son's godfather. And I should have made that my credit to me last week, but I just wanted to give shout out to Graham Gallagher.
Nice.
Godfather.
Wow. Godfather.
You're going to make a group chat?
Yeah. Like my brother, like Jenna is with my youngest daughter.
Yeah. All right.
Baptisms this week.
It is. Big weekend ahead.
Graduation weekend.
For you? No,
West Virginia. That's where we're heading.
All right. We'll end here. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Of course, we'll have when the Bills schedule comes out, we'll be talking all about it. We'll have plenty more content on the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. And like Dan and Mike talked about, we have the Pilates video, we have the travel draft. Still, I know off season, but a ton of content coming your way. All right. So for Mike Catalana and Dan Fates, I'm Jenna Cottrell. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Pause. Subscribe again. And thank you so much for watching the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel presented by Connors and Ferris.